Hello, I'm Doug Bowen. Today we're going to be removing the coil off of a 2001 Jetta VR6, and we're going to be doing a Ford or Motorcraft coil swap. First thing we're going to do is remove all the covers from the engine and the spark plug wires, the air cleaner, and the battery, so that we can get to the coils. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the air cleaner housing so that we can get access to the coil packs to remove them. Okay, you need to remove the 10mm bolt here and here. Take them out. Mass airflow sensor, remove that. Remove your spring clip. Pull your hose off. And then lift the housing out. And you'll see right here is the coils that we were trying to get to. So now we have to remove these top plastic covers and pull off the spark plug wires. But the spark plug wires are very fiddly, so they're really hard to pull off there, so you have to be real careful. Chances are you might have to get a new set of spark plug wires when you do this coil swap. Okay, now you see our covers. We have Torx 20 here, 20 here, Torx here, Torx here, Torx here, one here, and one back here in the back. I've already removed the other ones for the sake of the video. We take them out, we take these out, start to remove your covers. I've already grabbed the rings, pulled up my spark plug wires, so they're all loose. Then you can remove the spark plug wires, which I've already taken this end off. They come off a lot more difficultly. And take this off. Alright, so now here's what we've been looking for. Here's our coil. You have 4 Allen screws, bolts actually. I believe it's a number 8 Allen. Different applications may use different fasteners, but hopefully on all Mark IVs they're going to be this, I believe it is a number 8 Allen. Here you can see the stubs that are stuck in the coil. They go on to a threaded barb that's inside these holes inside the coils, and they really grab on there, and they're almost like a one-time use only type of a spark plug wire. So I got all my parts from Rock Auto. I happen to be able to get a nice set of NGK spark plugs, which I'll show you, similar to the ones I just had and ruined trying to get unplugged off of the coil. So once you remove the 4 of these bolts right here, which I've already loosened for the sake of the video, you will be able to remove your coil. You have a coolant tube that is right here that is hooked to it, and then you have your plug to your ignition module right there, and here you have your coil pack, your ignition module. We're ready to take it in. So now we're ready to take it indoors and do the coil swap. What we have here is we have our coil pack. Here's the stubs that I was telling you about. And here's the connector that goes down in to hook onto this barb down inside that coil. Okay, so we want to unclip your cover from here, lift it off. You have 4 10mm bolts. I've already loosened these. You loosen those up. You take out these 2 Phillips screws here and here. That I haven't removed for the sake of video. Okay, now we take off the back. Here are your prongs. You have your 2 screws with lock washers. Here's your heat sink. Here's your coil. Your coil's held on by 6 screws. Inside here, you take those out. I've already removed those. You pull your heat sink off. Those are your old coil pack. You have your heat sink. Now your heat sink goes back on to your base. And here's our Motorcraft coil, the one that I purchased from Rock Auto. I'll give you the part numbers for them. You can see how that sits. Fits right on there very nicely. You have 2 bolts, factory bolts that'll drop right in. Then on this one here, we're going to have to build a little bracket to hold it on, which I'll be showing you next. Okay, what I did now was I cut down my heat sink. As you can see, I cut it down to 9/16. The instructions I read on the internet said that you were supposed to cut this down to 9/16 because of the difference in the height and the coils mounted on the heat sink. They said that cutting the heat sink down is not a real big problem because people have used this for 100,000 miles and not had a problem. So now we're going to take that, put it back onto our base, take our 2 screws, screw it back on to the base, then our coil is going to go back on top of there like that. So now the next thing I'm going to do, since I cut that down, now like I said, that's the instructions that I got. I haven't found a video yet, so that's why I'm making this video, so I hope it helps you out. So I'm going to make this bracket to hold this end of the coil in place. Alright. I went and made this bracket, as you can see right here, this aluminum bracket, to bolt that part of it down to the heat sink. Okay, and I cut my tabs down on my coil, as you can see. Okay. And I made my pigtail wiring harness, and I marked the ends. I have a schematic here. You can see the Ford coil and the prongs, and you can see the VW coil and how they go over to each other. This pigtail I also bought off of rockauto.com. Now you put yours on here. I have these all marked. So I have my 12 volt positive, 1 and 6, let's see, 3 and 4. Goes to the middle, and 2, and 5. Now you can solder these connectors right here, but these 1/4 inch 14 gauge clips really work. Okay, now this coil is a Delta Golf 532. The coil connector is WPT 1009, and the NGK spark plugs I got spark plug wires, I'm sorry, 57020, and I got all that at Rock Auto. Okay, so there's your coil, complete and ready to go. New connector connected up. Shrink wrap. The shrink wrap came with the connector. So there you are. Now all you do, put it back on the car, which will be the reverse order of the way we took it off. This will go on first. You'll hook your connector, put your 4 bolts in. Your coolant tube goes on these, across these 2. Don't forget to put that back on. That's why I cut these spacers out of 5/16 brake line to make up the difference, so I could use the stock connectors and put my tubes and everything back where they're supposed to be. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful for you to get rid of your coil problem on your VR6. The only other problem that they have is that timing set. At some point in time I might do a video on that if I have to do it. But once again, thanks for watching my video.